Hi and welcome to the channel SouthWood Designs. Today we're going to be building a simple bookcase 6 foot tall or 1.80 m, 3 foot wide 90 centimeters and 5 shelves altogether, 1 fixed in the middle and 2 just above and just below that to adjust to suit the size of the books. So let's crack on. So we're going to use these finger jointed panels, acacia brown. They're laminated panels, they're quite easy to use and not overly cheap but certainly convenient in terms of a variety of sizes and so on that suit the needs. I've got 3 of these panels. One of the first panels, this one that I've got here now on the table, this is going to form the 2 sides, so it's 40 centimeters wide. I'm going to cut that down to half, so it'll be 20 centimeters wide. That'll be the depth of the bookcase, and then I'll chop up the other 2 pieces into 7 separate sections, 1 for the top, 1 for the base, 1 fixed in the middle, so those 3 fixed points, and then the 2 floating shelves in between. And I've got some shelf pins to be able to adjust the height as well, so I'll just drill a couple of holes in either side, 6mm holes that will allow the adjustment of those shelves to suit. Nice and easy and pretty straightforward and good timber to work with. You know, it's very convenient and nice bit of wood to work with, and it'll be a nice finish as well. And then just put a backing on. I'm using an MDF backing that's about the size, just over the size. I'll use a router just to trim and take the edges right up to the side of the bookcase. So that's all the boards ripped lengthwise. Now we need to cut the width for the shelving, and bear in mind it's going to be 90 centimeters wide, so we need to allow for the width of the 2 side panels that are just standing up there. So we need to take 2 lots of 1.8 centimeters off, and that'll be our width of our boards. So 1.8, 3.6 off 90 is 86.4. So we need a shelf width of 86.4 on all of them. They'll sit nicely in the side panels that will make up the shelving. Just got to check the width of the board. I don't want to make the same mistake that I did with those floating timber frames, those picture frames, sorry, if you saw that video. I just went off the size of the box, and of course that size was wrong. Don't ever do that again. That's a rookie mistake, and just make sure that you measure the actual timber and not assume that's what's written on the box or what's written on the package. In this case it was a canvas frame, is actually what the specific size is of the item. But as it happens, these are 1.8 centimeters, so that sits well 1.8 as it does say on the box. And once I cut this first one, which is spot on, 86.4, I'll use this as a template for the rest. Okay, so these are the 2 side pieces. What we're going to do is just measure in the where the shelving, the support frames at the top, the middle and the bottom are going to go, particularly in the middle. And then we can start to put holes in for the floating shelves. Yeah. So here we've got 181. So we need to look at 90 as a centre point. Flip these over opposite facing each other because I've got to make sure that this is the back, that was the piece that was cut. This is the front face that's got a reasonable edge to it, so I want to keep the front face to the front, and so I'm just going to make sure that those cut pieces stay at the back. They'll be covered anyway with the backing panel, but I just want to make sure that they stay at the back. And these lines here are the bottom point where these shelves are going to sit. So I'm going to use pocket hole screws. They get a bad rap sometimes in the industry overall, but I think they're pretty effective. They'll sit underneath, so you're not going to see them, particularly at the base of the panel. But they're strong enough. I mean, this will be supported sturdily by the back panel that's going to go on. And pocket holes, I think, are nice and convenient, and they still do the job, and they're pretty effective in terms of their strength. So that's the plan there. Pocket hole screws for the screwing of the panels in, the top, the middle and the bottom. And so just checking measurements, we're using 18mm thick wood, so we need this at 19. And we need this at 19, which we've got, that's set in there already because I largely use 18mm wood, so that's handy. And this is set at just a smidge under 19, it'll sit in at 18mm. Ton of shavings come out when you drill pocket holes, so make sure that you fit some sort of dust collection to collect all the shavings because they're everywhere. So just marking out the centre point, obviously the middle shelf is going to be at 90 centimetres because the whole thing is 180 or 6 foot, so the middle shelf is going to be fixed at 3 foot. So at 30 and 60 is where the floating shelves are going to be, with a couple of holes to adjust them up or down, say a few centimetres either way, inch and a half or thereabouts. So I need a 30. Let's do this in first. So I need a 30 and a 60. So this is the centre point of the shelf float. 30, 60. So this end as well, just measure this end as well. $30, $60, $30, $60. Okay. So now what we need to do is figure out the hole spacings. So I'm going to do them 3 centimeters in from the front and the back of the shelf. That'll give you enough width to hold, so that if you put them too close to each other, let's move this out of the way. If you put the pins too close, there's 2 pins either side, and if you put them too close to each other, the shelf has got a tendency to tip at the front or tip at the back of the bookcase itself. So I'm going to go 3 centimeters in from the front and the back, and I'm going to go, let's just have a quick think. I'm going to go 5 centimeters. So I'm going to do 2 holes, one at 5 and one at 10 above, just above and just below, and I'll be 3 centimeters in. So one at 5, although I've got to allow for the thickness of the shelf, so I'm going to go to here. So one at 5 and one at 10, and let's just mark this across. So these are the shelf support pins. A bit bright with that light on, sorry about that. These are little pins here, they just sit in, we just need a 6mm hole to go into each of these marked points, so that anywhere we choose, we've got, what do we want, 6mm. Anywhere we want to, we can put in the height of the shelf. Just double check that that's a 6, and yes it is. So I'm going to just put a bit of tape around actually I might draw with the marker pen, just a line around the drill point so I know how far down to drill. Tape is probably better, but you can use either, up to you. There we go. So we've got tape at 6mm, and that's just marginally deeper than the pin itself. So that tape will tell me what the point is when I need to stop drilling. So this wood is 18mm. If you haven't seen the Craig video that I made a little while ago, you should check that out. But 18, we're using 19mm material, or we got a 19mm material thickness, so we need a 32mm screw, and it's because it's a softwood that we need this zinc coated. That's these ones here, 32mm. So what I'm going to do is screw in from the outside for the top and the bottom piece, just because you won't see the top unless you're over 6 foot tall, and the bottom piece you won't see that because that'll be sitting on the floor. Just hold it in place temporarily with this, Should actually get the Craig corner holder, so I haven't got to that yet. Tried to get it in a recent trip to the hardware store, but they didn't have it in stock, unfortunately. And I didn't want it that badly that I was going to go to another store. Pulled it in nicely. I'm not going to say why I know this, but just make sure when you're drilling these bits together that the holes that you've drilled for the shelf supports are on the inside and not on the outside. Just saying, in case you accidentally put the holes on the outside when you first drill the first screw in. Not saying I did it, but point where the I'm going to just knock this in with a nail gun rather than screws. Just going to use the brad nailer. I've just sprayed a bit of silicone lubricant on. Just makes it run smoother. These can be a bit temperamental at times, and I'll just show you in a sec when we put this back on. But they're okay when they work, but they're pretty annoying when they don't. And then for safety, obviously, I've got the battery off. I'm just about to put that in now. Load and unload with the battery out, or with the power off. Okay, so I am going to just route this surplus piece off, and I'll do that now while this is upside down, while I've still got a bit of light. Getting towards the end of the day here in good old Oz. and then we're pretty well done. The only other thing is I've just figured that I might need to make the shelves slightly narrower, because when they sit on these brass pegs, there's a depth of the brass bit that sits inside the or onto the timber, so the shelf needs to sit slightly inside of that. But that's okay. I can just sneak up on the shelves if I need to. I'll figure that out once I've done this bit. Okay, I've just got to put these pins in, and then we should be good to go. As I said before, I might need to adjust the shelves slightly. Don't make them slightly narrower, and also this base, this back is not a brilliant colour, although it's going to be covered with books, so it doesn't matter too much. But what I might do is colour that later on. Okay. These, I'll just do the middle one first, and then we can adjust accordingly when it's in place and we know what size books are going to go in. And overall looks pretty good, pretty easy to build. Moment of truth. But it does float around, it looks like it's snowing. Alright, well, apart from the bottom shelf, there you have it. That's the bookcase. As I said, what I'll probably do is just colour this back. I'll spray the back or paint the back just to make it blend in a bit better, but pretty straightforward build. Just 3 prefabbed pieces that I just cut to size, and a easy build in a day. So look, hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. That would be great. Thank you. Thanks again for tuning in, and see you next time. Cheers. Hi, and welcome to the channel, SouthWood Designs. Today we're going to be building a simple bookcase, 1m80 or about 6 foot tall. Noisy birds. 1m80 or about 6 foot tall. Hi, and welcome to the... Hi, and welcome to the channel, SouthWood Designs. Today we're going to be building a simple book. Okay. Forward is one way, reverse is the other.